From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Enough with the Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh,
Hey everybody, this is D from Brooklyn, the Assistant Chiefy. Hey, you should notice what I'm noticing here. Package finally arrived. Now I can do my long-awaited review. This should be my package I ordered. They were ordered way in advance, so you had to wait for shipping of the Jebao WP40. So let's open the package and take a look. Alright, well here we go. Well, I have to say the box was well packaged. In here you can see we got the Jebao WP40 unit. It's a pretty nice sized box. So at first glimpse, you might get a little glimpse of the Tunzi design, but basically this is supposed to replicate the effect that we get from the Ecotech MP40. So here it is. Pretty nice sized box. One thing they have to get over, apparently they didn't produce a lot of these. So right now there is a bit of a wait time if you order these, depending on where you got them from. But basically, here's a close-up of the specs. Like I said, here's the Jebao housing unit. It's a similar unit. They boast the easy installation, the fixed magnetic suction. Only thing that you notice right off the back is, okay, you have the MP40 that you compare this for. This is the WP40. One thing I do like at first glimpse is the fact that this is directional, which means you have the ability to turn it. Okay, anybody that knows the Ecotech units, they're wonderful units, but they're fixed. They just mount to the glass. The housing unit goes on one side, the head unit goes in the inside of the tank, and it's basically a straight across the tank type of application. This one, because of the design in the head, you can see that you can rotate it 360 degrees. You can face it up, down. So that is one thing that I really liked about it. So, I am going to just take a look at all of the craftsmanship as far as the quality materials that went into making it. And let's take a closer look as I take it out the box. And if you want to get some more information, you can go to Jebao's website, which has a full write-up about this unit. I got a lot of information and reviews from fellow reef tank keepers on YouTube, and so far I don't have any complaints. So let's take a look at the box as I open it up. I feel like it's Christmas. Okay, I couldn't help but notice this. I still had my high door box downstairs from the Evolution 1150 series, the Coralia. I can't help but go back and immediately show you this, the difference in the size in the box. This tells you right here, if you look at the design, it's very close. It's a combination between the Tunzi design and the Coralia design. So very, very similar. I mean, if you look at the housing, it's almost identical, except that it's round like the Tunzi and gives you that free rotation of the Tunzi while incorporating the Coralia design. But if you look at the box, I believe this is the 4 series if I'm not mistaken, but I know it's definitely the 1150 gallon per hour series high door. And you look how big this box is versus this box. Yeah, I get a little hesitant there because I want to make sure that this doesn't look like a crazy eyesore in my tank, but it's very, very, very similar. I mean, they're very, very identical. All right. So I just had to focus on that while I was looking at it because I thought it very interesting how big this unit is in packaging. All right, okay, at absolute first glimpse, you have to admit that it is a nice size unit. If you want to compare it to, let's say, the Coralia or the Ecotech, it's probably a nice size. It is a little bigger than the Coralia 4 Evolution, give or take, only because it's more circular, which I'm assuming gives it its full wave motion, because it does promote, according to its advertisement and the people that have already reviewed it and discussed it with me, it does push water on all three sides, and because of its circular shape, you can move it pretty much 360 degrees. My only concern is, I'm looking at it now, it does tend to have a little wobble on it. Hopefully when it's in the tank, it's a little more sturdy. I mean, once this thing kicks up a wave, my tank's 6 feet, I don't think I'll have to run it on the maximum, because I do have other corralias in place, and based on the flow I get from this, I'm going to program them to cut on and off at different times. But this is a nice size unit. If you look at my hand, this thing is the size of my hand. And like I said, the plug does go inside the tank, whereas the MP40s boast that all of the electrical is mounted outside of the tank. So that is one negative. And the fact that it moves around a little more, too much for my liking. We'll see what it does when I put it in tank and put it in place. But I have to admit, at first glimpse, it feels pretty secure, feels pretty sturdy. It's kind of heavy, actually, which is another issue. With it being heavy, the more weight that you put into the head unit, when you start that wave motion, hopefully it doesn't give me a vibration, because these things tend to want to fight the magnet. The magnet is holding it in place. It's kind of heavy, so it may want to do like this. So here's what we do. Let's get it ready to be put in the tank, and I'll be the judge of how noisy it is and how secure it is. But on the latter part, it does give you a pretty nice amount of cord, man. I've bought pumps, and I've been in this hobby a long time. Sometimes I don't know what these guys are thinking. Seems like Jebao did its homework with the cord, because I bought pumps where the cord wasn't even 6 feet long, and I'm like, well, what do these guys think I'm doing? Plugging it straight into the wall and into the water? So, they tend to limit you where you can place it in the tank, but with Jebao, they did give you a nice amount of cord, so I'll be able to position it wherever I want to in the tank. And then on top of that, it's hard to tell until I put it into place, but yeah, that's just my cell phone. But anyway, they tend to give you a little bit of cord play with the power, and then you have a little more play with the cable that goes to the controller. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to mount this controller, because it's a nice size. It's kind of big, so I don't want it to be the first thing people see when they look at the tank. So I'll play around with that. And it's kind of pretty, so it's really light. I wouldn't say it's the most sturdiest thing in the world, but all it does is house the knob for making adjustments, as well as the LEDs, and there's a little circuit board inside, so it doesn't have to do too much. But I'll play around with the placement of where I'm going to put it on the hood of the tank. So at first glimpse, it's pretty good. I'm happy with it so far. We'll have some answers to the questions of vibration, placement, and magnet strength, what I put on the tank. So let's go get this baby mounted on the tank and see what we got to work with. Well, okay, as you can see, I've put the pump in place. I pretty much disturbed everything, trying to work out where I wanted to move the other Coralia, which used to be over here. I replaced it with the Jebao unit. You can see there's a lot of sediment because I kind of moved everything around. There's my extra Coralia, my extra high door, and the Evolution, which is over here. Alright, let's fire up the pump. Alright, over to the apex. Let me see. Okay, go to on. Alright, woo! I immediately see wave action. And surprisingly enough, you don't hear the pump at all. That's a hell of a wave, though. Wow, I am happy that it's quiet, but I'm going to have to make some adjustments. Luckily, everything's kind of closed up because I've been cleaning the tank out, but if you look real close, that's one heck of a wave you get out of this unit. And it reaches clear across the other side of my tank. The tank is 6 feet long. I get wave action over here. And that's with only one pump. All the other pumps are off. You can hear the wave action. Better yet, you can see the wave action. I've never seen my Gorgonian move that much. So it definitely got quite a bit of force. At the rate this pump is blowing, I don't think I'm going to actually need to alternate between 3 pumps. I mean, I'm probably going to have corals moving around and wanting to move from where they are. And this is just with the factory setting. I haven't made any adjustments yet. There's a substantial wave, and it's amazingly quiet. I'm really happy that it's quiet, because the Corralio was quiet, and the last thing I wanted was to replace a very quiet pump with a loud one, so I'm very happy. And you can see that it's waves cresting like crazy. Now I'm worried that the water is going to go above the rim, but luckily I lowered my water line before starting this, so I got a little leeway to make adjustments. And the control looks nice next to the apex control. As you can see, there's an LED indicator and the knob. Hold on, let me adjust the lighting. Hey, now I do want to thank Rick at Reef Radiance, because I guess he noticed that Jebao, being a Chinese company, their instructions are kind of on the skimpy side. So thanks, Rick. What he did is, this is the guy that combined all the orders and ordered the pumps for me. I got it through eBay, and what he did is he kind of translated the instructions. He's saying, the instructions are a little skimpy, so I've included a sheet that has more information, and this should help. Well, Rick, I hope you see this video, because it definitely helps. This explains the modes that are on the controller, as far as a definition of how each mode change affects the pump. So Rick, you're a godsend, because this is really clear and concise. It did come with pretty good instructions. They're simple, but you can always tell when something's been translated from Chinese to English or another language. Grammar is not the best, but I just want to give a little kudos and a shout out to Reef Radiance. Rick, you did a good job by me, buddy. Let's look at the modes as you explain them here. Basically, pressing in mode but on the controller, cycles through the cycles. Same thing as the Ecotech unit. W1 for short pulses, W2 for gradually speeding up and slowing down, or the ever so popular else mode that kind of randomizes the flow in the tank. Okay, that's better. You can get a better look at the wave controller, the Jebao unit. There's an LED indicator saying that it's on the factory setting. Knob's really easy to adjust, just clockwise, counterclockwise. I'll play with that a while, and then I'll give you a look at what my final settings are. But right now on the factory setting, and I think this is the lowest setting, man, I never got that kind of movement in my water. I'm scared I'm going to throw water on the floor if you look at the back. And don't worry, that PVC is just I'm running an experiment with my return line. That's going to go away probably tonight. But I wanted it there while I did this experiment. And yeah, it's an awesome wave motion. You can see even the Kenya trees. I have 3 pumps. I used to alternate. Only the Jebao is on right now. 6 feet away. And everything is moving here. I'm really satisfied with that so far. Look at that. That goes to show how much force that thing is giving off. First of all, that little piece of live rock, that little tuba, little coral head there, is behind a leather coral, a plate coral, another hard coral, and look how it's moving. It's all the way on the other side of the tank. The pump is over there, 6 feet away. That goes to show that there's circulation even behind the rock. Look how that thing is rocking. Okay, basically the advantage of having a directional wave-making pump is, as you can see, I'm not a rock wall kind of guy. I like structure. I like cliffs. I like all kind of, variations in my aquascape. If I were to put like a vortex flat against that wall, obviously I'd have a problem with this leather coral, because leather corals open up and grow very large. So I really don't have a spot where I just want to leave a pump flat against the wall. And I haven't turned on my other two corallias yet. I don't know if there's going to be a need for that. I will use my Apex probably to turn them on at different times of the day and see how that goes. But right now I'm still processing data. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. So I'm going to play it by ear, because as you can see, I'm getting wave force here. That is a very large dead coral, very large, in the middle of a 6-foot tank, and behind it I'm getting movement. Behind it I'm getting movement, and you can see it is it's quite a lot of force. So there you have it, everybody. There's the Jebao WP40 wave maker. It's a pretty nice unit. I got no complaints. It does what it's supposed to do. It's easy to install. 360-degree rotation versus the Ecotech one-shot install. You got 6 different operating modes. You got one-touch feed mode. It's pretty powerful. The water flow in my tank was exceptional. It's nice and quiet. Has a long cable. I got no complaints. So basically, I would give it a thumbs up. You could try it, give your own opinion. But if you have any questions, send me your comments, your questions. I'll be sure to look into them, and I can test the unit and see if I can answer any questions you have. So for right now, this is D from Brooklyn, the assistant chiefy, keeping my sanity by keeping my aquariums, everybody. Now I'm going to go watch my fish blow in the breeze.